Welcome to Selling in the Motor Trade, in association with Automotive Management and Simco Training. This is the weekly podcast where we share best practice, tips, and ideas on how to sell more cars, improve your service department, and generally put more profit into your dealership or dealer group. I'm your host, Simon Bowkett, or some of you might already know me as Skippy. And firstly, I want to say thank you for taking the time to tune in. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Selling in the Motor Trade. Today's segment is all about a tip and an idea that you might want to share with your salespeople. So that managers, dealer principals, this is one of those episodes that you can play in your sales meeting, talk about it, have a conversation, and get the juices flowing about how you can actually make an impact in your dealership today. I want to talk about selling value-added products to that remote customer. You know the ones, they live miles away, okay? You have to deliver it remotely or they're going to come and see you afterwards, but the whole deal's done before they turn up. Now, firstly, I've got to say this podcast goes out to people in Canada, America, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, and the UK. Oh, South Africa, missed one. So if you're listening to this in the UK, where we have the FCA, there are certainly things that you have to make sure you do to make sure you're compliant. In fact, if you're listening to this podcast in an area that doesn't have the FCA, actually, you probably need to do things to make sure you're compliant and look after the customer right anyway. I don't subscribe to the idea of jamming products into a customer and saying, and the good news, sir, that's fully protected. Or they actually buy the car on a payment and they don't know the products are there. Okay, we're going to talk about selling these value-added products, not including them. Okay, but please bear in mind the legislation in the country you are in to make sure you do things right. But actually, I'm going to go through an idea that Virgin Airlines did on Emma and I when we're going on a flight. And it's what I think we can do in the motor trade sometimes. Let's take your paint and fabric protection product. Call it SuperGuard, LifeShine, G3, GuardX, Ming in Australia, Wins products. There's lots of them out there. It's a used vehicle. You know that person is calling from a long way away. Oh, and by the way, I'm picking on paint and fabric protection because I know in the UK, we haven't got the FCA compliance and people are going to write in and call me and say, you've got that wrong, you got this wrong, okay? So let's have a look at paint and fabric protection. That doesn't come up under the Financial Conduct Authority's banner. You try and sell that product early on and people can say, oh, no, leave that out. Come on, what's your best price on that car? Is it still available and what's your best price? Because they're calling from a long way away, by the nature of that person, they're probably tight anyway. So it's going to be hard work. So the first thing you want to do is start sowing the seeds on these value-added products early on. What we do in a face-to-face environment. We know that lots of these distant salespeople have still got a car they're considering trading in or part exchanging, again, depending on the country you're in. So why do we turn around and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, please bear in mind the price on your car is going to be based on your description. When I see it, if it's not as described, clearly we wouldn't be able to honor that. Are you happy to go ahead on that basis? Now, of course, every customer is going to say yes. They said, no, I was hoping to lie to you. And then we might say, great, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being your car was like the day it left the factory, 1 being it's ready for the scrap heap. Overall, how would you rate the condition of the car? Guys, it's always 7, 8, or 9. Okay, now make sure you say 10 is the day it left the factory. 1 being it's ready for the scrap heap. If you don't do that, everyone says it is a 10. It's a 10 out of 10 for a 4-year-old Skoda, whatever it is. The car turns up, it's had more hits than the Beatles. And you say, what's this? The customer says, well, it is 10 out of 10 for that 5-year-old car. Okay, they justify it. That's why I find we have to say 10 being the car It was the day it left the factory. 1 being it's ready for that scrap heap. Overall, how do you rate the condition of the car? 7. Great. What's stopping it being that perfect 10? There's a bit of a stain on the back seat where the kids dropped the McDonald's milkshake. Okay. There's a scuff down the side of it. There's an alloy wheel that's been used as a parking sensor. Okay. We've got that. We start talking about some of our value added products. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, do you still have your paint and fabric protection certificate? You're looking for what's that? Listen, that's something a lot of our customers have. And do me a favor, just check your paperwork from when you bought the car. You might have it and not realize it, because every manufacturer in Europe recommends some sort of paint and fabric protection nowadays, because cars are all painted in water-based paints, not mineral-based paints. And my boss, valuing the car without seeing it, they often pay a little bit extra just because they know any scuffs and marks in the upholstery, like you're discussing, come straight back out. See, with that, it's just a hook or a seed, okay? You're not selling your paint and fabric protection product there. You're just getting the people's heads, hold on, maybe I should have had that last time. You see the scuff down the side, okay? Right, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, what I'll do is I'll get you to take a photograph of that for me, because if I describe this to my boss, he might be conservative without seeing it. But just so I know, would you say it's less than 30 centimeters? Is it less than the thickness of a euro coin? Great, okay. Well, listen, did you want me to value the car as it is with that scuff down the side? Or is it something you'd claim on your motor vehicle insurance? Okay. Oh, no, as it is, they'll always say. Agree with them. I don't blame you. By the time you take into account your excess and what it does to your no claims bonus, isn't that worth doing? Or do you have any of that smart cover? Again, what's that? That's something that a lot of our customers are starting to get. Effectively, they have a pot of £3,000 and spend over the next 3 years maintaining the showroom condition of the car. Any scuff or mark like that up to 30 centimeters or the thickness of a pound coin. Okay. Again, we're not selling at that stage. We're just introducing this. I think that's still so important. It's one of the things I think a lot of salespeople leave out with a remote customer. Okay. Then when we're talking about these products, we've got the ability to send through the video to the customer before they pick up the car. But here's the one about Virgin Airlines you might want to try. Okay. Let's maybe offer some of these value added products after the customer has got over the mental pain of spending 30,000 euros on the car. Okay. Now, I know they may not have actually handed over the money yet, but mentally they have. Also, how often have we sent a see it now video to the customer? The deal's been done. There's a week before the customer picks the car up and they still look at the video 18 times a day. They're looking at that video of the car at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're all getting excited. Maybe we could tap into that excitement about the new car and offer the value added products. In fact, there's always a period from when we book a holiday to when you go on a holiday. That period in between, sometimes the anticipation of that holiday is better than the actual holiday sometimes. That's what we can do with the customers. They're showing that See It Now video to their family and their friends. They're showing everyone. They're so excited about picking up their new car. That's what Virgin Airlines did to me. A few years ago now, I was taking my wife to New York for an anniversary or birthday, something like that. 3 days there. I thought, right, let's go and do this properly. So Virgin Airlines, not just economy, premium economy. Okay, I paid the extra money. Okay, got the better leg room and all that sort of stuff. We're going premium economy. But then come out an email. So I booked it, booked the hotel, all excited. Okay, booked a restaurant. There's a particular restaurant. If everyone knows New York, Daniel's. My wife loves Daniel's in New York. Sensational restaurant. Okay, so I booked that. Make sure we can get that into I'm going to get proper brownie points for this. But then an email comes through from Virgin Airlines. Do you want to bid for upper class tickets? Went, ooh, upper class. I can bid for them. There's a lovely little spiel about the flight that you're on is underbooked or something like that. So you can actually bid on going upper class. I thought, yes, I do. They had a lovely little photo of what you get with upper class. So I Googled it before I did any bidding. Okay, there's a bar there. I seen Daniel Craig on James Bond having the martini right at the bar. I could do that. What sort of brownie points am I going to get for that? Oh, yes. Do I want to bid for this? Yep. So I bid. Now, I can't remember this word for word how it worked out, okay? But I bid. But I remember when I bid, it come up with a suggestion or something like that. That bid for upclass is maybe not high enough. You need to bid again. I think it was something like eBay. But see, the downside, I was already there. I'd mentally got over the price of the flights that I'd spent already. I'd mentally got over the price of the hotel. I'd mentally put away the flash meal we're going to have on one of the nights there, okay? That was spent in my mind. This was extra, okay? Went, oh, yes, okay. So I bid. It suggested I bid higher. So I bid again, okay? It still, I didn't win it. So I bid again. Now, I can't remember the exact figure. I think it was something like £670. And I won it. Went, oh, yes. How good is this? Bring on those brownie points. Okay. But then I read the fine print. That was 670 per person. Oops. That's going to be a bit of a dampener on the anniversary. If I'm flying in upper class and Emma's down in baggage class. So it's for 2 people. And then it's like, 670, if I read it properly, per leg. Oops. It's going to be a bit tough to go out there upper class and come back poverty pack. Okay. And I think from memory, there's 2 legs or something like that. Guys, here's the point. Okay. We got it. We went upper class. It was lovely. Thank you very much, Virgin Airlines. Okay. But when I actually had a look at how much I spent in total compared to what I could have got it from booking it straight away, we saved some money. It wasn't huge though. Okay. But here's the point. I would never, ever, ever pay for upper class, first class tickets myself. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't do that. Business class, I'll pay for that one, but going there, I just probably wouldn't do it. Actually, when I looked at that amount, because there was one hit at one point, I probably wouldn't have done it either. But I think they got me because I got over the pain of spending the money already. Okay. It was the anticipation of the holiday. I wanted to make it just as good as I possibly could. Oh, and then I read the fine print. If I booked upper class right from the start, I think from memory, we could have had parking at the airport. No, sorry, they pick you up. That's it. It's a concierge service. But because I bid for it afterwards, I didn't get that. And there's something else we didn't get. Okay. But you know what? I think they got me because that anticipation. So why don't we try this? And I learned this from Pete Beck from Superguard. I know you other paint and fabric protection people listen to this will say, oh, no, we're better than Superguard. Leave that aside at this stage there, okay? I love Pete Beck, brilliant guy, okay? Let's just turn around with the customer before they pick the car up and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, just let you know we're on track for a delivery next Thursday for your car. Oh, by the way, the valeting department or the detailers just wanted me to ask you, how would you like the car prepared? The deluxe package or standard? Now, we know lots of people are going to say, well, what's the difference? Well, with the deluxe package, what we get is we get the paint protection, which seals the paint and locks in the showroom shine, guaranteed for the life of the vehicle. We have all the fabric protection that we put over the floor mats, the carpets, the fabric on the seats, and in the boot area. So any spills, the stain, instead of getting into it and damaging the seat, it actually stays on top. It gives you time to wipe it off. You also have the glass cover or the alloy wheel cover, the brake cover, the aftercare bag. Now that works out at $499. And it's 3 ways you can actually go ahead with this. Number 1, we could just put $499 on the credit card you used to secure the car last week. Number 2 is we could take it out of that deposit. Now, if we do that, please bear in mind your payment will go up a touch. Now, here's a little warning on that one. In your country, make sure you don't do that on an insurance product. Make sure legislation is right on that one. I know some countries will do that, but please be careful. Okay. On number 3 is we could actually just pay for it when you pick the car up. But please bear in mind, when we apply the paint sealant, we can't take it off. Which do you prefer? Give 3 options. Guys, maybe try that and have another go at that value-added product after they got over the pain of spending the money. Just a quick one today, something you might want to share with your sales team, play it in the sales meeting, and get that conversation going about how you can do it, what's right for your business, and maybe have that sweep up call with all of your customers. Anyway, hope you got some good ideas on that. Thank you again for everyone listening to the Selling the Motor Trade podcast. It just keeps on going from strength to strength. Everyone who's sending on to everyone else, I really do appreciate it. We're getting so many great comments, and I'll see you next week. That just leaves me to say that all details of this episode and other episodes on the selling in the motor trade can be found on our website, simcotraining.co.uk. Go there to get a copy of our book, Words That Sell Cars. Go there to sign up to a free trial of our Sales Fitness online sales training program. Easiest way to get hold of me is Simon Bowkett through LinkedIn. Thank you.